Good morning, welcome back to my kitchen, soon to be pantry, garage. We're gonna do a little pantry chat today and talk about some of the things that I like to keep on hand and what helps me where I don't have to necessarily run to the store if I don't need to. So we're gonna talk pantry, we're gonna talk keeping stuff on hand. So let's go check out my not so organized areas. We're not even gonna talk about the refrigerator because it's kind of a mess. So this is my freezer in the house where I do keep, paying no attention to the ice cream. We actually do have some birthdays, we've been having those, but I do buy this ice cream from Aldi only because it has actual ingredients in it. So I keep a lot of frozen berries and such in here. I buy organic. I keep frozen vegetables. We have frozen fish in here. This is something I'm trying this year with my sugar snap peas. We're gonna add those to some stir fries. Not everything I buy is organic. Some of these are just quick things, which I need to make my own of, but haven't yet. But I do like to keep frozen peas. I don't grow peas, and I don't grow enough to actually do this. Maybe one of these days, but for right now I buy these. We don't eat them enough to for me to grow them. If we ate a lot of peas, it might be different, but we don't eat a lot of peas. I usually put them in chicken pot pie, and that's about it. So I only need like a few bags of those a year. So this was a new purchase this year, this big old cabinet that I got for $50. It's beautiful. It's actually an old, I think, sideboard like server because the drawers in here, I'll show you. The drawers in here actually have, well, you're not gonna be able to tell. But they have like the velvet in the bottom. So this was for utensils and such. As you can see, it is for storage. I have my herbs that are in bags in here just because and stuff that hasn't been hung on the wall yet. And so it's really just storage right now. But I have put like my canned stuff that I need to be eating, and it's out here along with some loofahs that I'm just kind of keeping away from the dogs right now. But this is where I put some of our some dried things and some stuff that I need to use, like, you know, all these apples that I need to use in recipes and such. Now if we go out to the actual pantry, this is where I keep some more of my stuff, and then there's some other stuff in the garage. So I want to show you this. It's not that organized. It needs to be more organized, and that might be a goal this year. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So this is where I keep all of my other canned goods. So I do have a bunch of pears. Like I did these a couple years ago, well, about a year and a half ago now, and we don't really eat pears that much, so I didn't need to get more. But we do have like watermelon and cucumber concentrate to make lemonade. I have some applesauce. I have lots of dried things, lots of freeze-dried things. These are actually for the chickens mostly. I do use these. These are the Tromacini squash that I let get really large and kind of turn the orangish color for hopefully they would preserve better. They're supposed to. I do have all of that, but we have applesauce ready to go. I have pears if I want to do pears. I have lots of milk because I don't have milk from Annabelle anymore, so I do have milk I can use in recipes, which works really well. I do have some freeze-dried vegetables up there, which I need to do more of. This is a freeze-dried strawberry powder. I've got freeze-dried yogurt. This is something I tried when I juiced, and then I took the scraps and freeze-dried them. Okay, so don't judge me on my storage because this is how it had to happen for right now. But I do have potatoes I'm having to really use because they're growing eyes and such. I have sweet potatoes. I have some miscellaneous sweet potatoes that I found when harvesting other things. And then I have some ginger right there and some horseradish that I don't think that made it. But over here I have rice and sugar. There's beans back there. I have wheat as well, like the red, like hard wheat and soft wheat. Actually, I think I have red wheat and white wheat, maybe. I don't remember. I buy a lot of rice. I buy 25 pounds of rice at a time from a local grower here. Cahokia rice. It's really good. It's organic. It's a non-GMO rice, and we really like it. It's a high protein rice, so that works really well. But I have pinto, kidney, and black beans in bulk that I am going to, I did can some of the black beans, which helps out because then I can just, they're already cooked and I can dump them in the recipes, but that is a goal. is to do that and have those done. But I like to keep like stuff like that on hand because I can basically shop my pantry. We can have beans, I have rice, I have, you know, some of the vegetables, I have fruits that are preserved and so forth. I have some frozen vegetables and I really like that. I'm trying to get better at, I wasn't always good at it, honestly. And I'm trying to get better at shopping my pantry rather than shopping the store, because y'all know the store is expensive. Food is going up and it's expensive just to buy bread and milk and eggs. It's unbelievable. Unfortunately, I have to buy eggs this week because my chickens are not laying because it's like in the single digits. So I don't really blame them. I mean, they need some time off. I do have some powdered eggs, so I can use, or not powdered. I have freeze-dried eggs, so I can use those. Not a big deal. And they do work in like baked goods and stuff like that too. I have tested that, so I do know that. They work really well in brownies, just saying. So over here I have more. These are really good. I just made these pressure canned carrots. I have potatoes from a couple years ago that I've been using in my soups. We've got some pumpkin. And this was a new recipe that I tried this year with all the green tomatoes that I had. But I have some maple syrup we're using. I have jams and jellies up there. And we haven't used this venison that I can. This one over here was actually unsealed whenever I was checking them. But we haven't used this yet. This up here is actually pasta sauce. And but I'm trying to like shop my pantry and go through stuff as I need it. So when menu planning, that's what I've been trying to do, is to go through what I have in the freezer. I did go through it like a few months ago or a year ago and made a list of everything that I have. Then I forgot to check the list and didn't really use it much. So I'm really trying to get better at that. And I'm really trying to use my pantry, shop my pantry. That way I don't have to worry about the grocery budget as much. I still try to stick to a grocery budget because food is expensive. We actually have less people in the house. We have 2 less people in the house now, and groceries cost the same or more than what they did whenever we had 6 here. So we have 4 here and we had 6, and it's just unbelievable how much food has went up. I do have a few things like I have to buy. I don't have to, but I buy milk because Annabelle, of course, she's not in milk, and I don't know that she's gonna be in milk. I think I'm gonna have to buy a new cow coming in here this spring, which I'm kind of excited about and kind of like, I don't know. I've got to buy eggs, unfortunately, but there's just a few things, you know, I mean, it's not like I have to buy them. You know, some of those things we think we have to have, but we really don't. Some of them I think we like to have, but we could do without them. So let's go out in the garage though. I'm going to show you really quickly what I have in the freezer. And just saying, it's not that organized. Okay, I was actually going to try to go out with my house shoes on, but we got a little bit of extra snow yesterday or last night. So, all right, I got to put some shoes on. Okay, woo! We're gonna make this quick. I can't tell you how many times I wish that our garage was hooked to our house. I am trying to convince my husband that we need a little breezeway between the two. That would be so cool. Okay, let me switch you around here. I'm gonna show you what we have in the freezers. Now again, this is not organized very well at all, so just saying. Okay, so I tried to organize this at one time, but as you can see, I just have some, you know, like odd stuff. But I have peaches in here from 2020. This is peach pie filling. So this is like, I need to know this is in here. So I really need to make another list. But I have been using these. Somebody gave us pecans, which is really cool. This is from the hive. Supposedly you can keep these frozen and then you can put them back out. And when you have bees, which I don't know if that's ever going to happen. We do have lots of venison in here. I still have these that I need to make bone broth with. This we actually buy for a gathering that we have every year, and that didn't happen this year. So we cooked 2 of these, and we still have 2 bags of these. This is not something I normally buy for us in those portions. But from Butcher Box, I do get meat from there, and I got ribs one time, so we still have the ribs. I really like their chicken, which is over here in this one. So we get their chicken, and because we eat a lot of chicken, so we got that. We do get that from Butcher Box. I do get some breakfast sausage, but mostly chicken breast, and 1 thing of chicken thighs. Now this month, I just picked up my Azure order, and I purchased some chicken from them. Now, it is a little bit more expensive than the butcher box, but it's air chilled, which is interesting. So I'm going to see if we can tell the difference between this and that. Because most chicken, even when we do chicken, it is normally soaked in water, and we put salt in that water. Brave the cold again. And we put salt in that water, and we soak it to cool it down. But this chicken from Azure is air chilled, which is interesting because if it's air chilled, then the water doesn't possibly contribute to, say, bacteria. So if you have bacteria in your water, then, and you soak your chicken in it, then it could absorb into, you know, the chicken. I never really thought about that. I guess I should have, but I didn't. So we're going to try this air chilled chicken, and I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see if it tastes any different. Come over here to my little corner cabinet here. I do like to keep some stuff. Some of this has probably been in here for a while, but I did buy a lot of molasses. I like to keep this lemon juice, which is really good. Not fire cider, but apple cider vinegar in here. I do occasionally buy some ready-made. If I find them at Aldi and I scan them with my app and they scan good, I like to buy these. Sometimes I just keep these for the kids for fun stuff. These scan okay, but I like to keep, I do buy bone broth right now. I do make some, but sometimes I get this. My husband likes tuna, so we buy tuna, but these are my kombucha teas. And I mean, some of this I just have in here and I keep. Some of it's been in here for a while, not gonna lie. But this is the syrup. It's not like, this is one that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup in it that everybody will use. It's not the best option because I like to use our maple syrup, but not everybody likes to use the maple syrup. So we just kind of I like to just keep some stuff down here. One thing that does help me out a lot is I keep a list on the fridge. So anytime we're out of something, like for instance, bread, milk, or stuff like that, I may not, because I don't eat the bread they eat. I don't necessarily drink milk that much, so I may not know that we're out of it. So I keep a notepad on the fridge for that purpose. So if we need something, they know they have to write it down, because if they don't write it down, then I probably won't buy it. So if it's written down, then normally I will get that whenever I go get groceries. Sometimes not. It depends on what it is. Now, I do buy special things, like we have a date night every Tuesday, and I usually don't cook that night or have anything ready, so I usually buy the kids something that I normally wouldn't buy. I still try to get it as healthy as possible. Sometimes not. Sometimes I get pizza rolls, sometimes they get frozen pizza, sometimes they get tortellini, stuff like that. And I do buy a better soda. I don't buy 100% healthy stuff all the time, and we don't completely eat only what we grow. We are not to that point. I know some people grow 75-90% of their food. We do not right now, and I don't know that ever will happen unless something actually happens to where we have to. For right now, I like to buy in bulk. I like to keep things like rice and beans, and I like to have plenty of chicken and stuff like that. So if something were to happen, I think we would be good for a while. We can eat what we have. That's it. That's my pantry. Like I said, my goal this year is to get a little bit more organized. I need a master list. And if I get one together, I will definitely share that with you. But I need a master list so that I know I don't have to go hunting and everything. Like this freezer in the kitchen, this one down here, needs to be cleaned out. Because I know there's stuff in the bottom that has gotten, hidden in the bottom, and it needs to be eaten or thrown out. Really need to make sure that I'm rotating stuff along with my canned goods. That's why I have these over here, is because I want to use those first. Those are the oldest from my pantry, so I put them out here so I could see them easier. That way I will use them, hopefully. So that's the plan. So if you have any tips, share them below in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your organization tips are. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe, I don't know if it gave you any ideas or not. I'm just kind of showing you what I have and hopefully maybe it will kind of give me a little boost and help me to organize mine a little bit better. But be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to be lovely lights today.